Whether scaring us senseless or making us weep like giant man babies, the literary work of Stephen King has been a staple at the cinema for over 40 years. And with the recent release of two of the author's biggest properties, what better time to look back at the unique moments that keeps Hollywood coming back time after time. You had to see this coming, right? Although somewhat dated, Stephen King's It features a terrifying performance from Tim Curry that isn't easily forgotten, and regardless of whether the 2017 remake improves upon this telemovie, there's one thing we can all agree on. Most people's fear of clowns started right here.
You float soul!
Frank Darabont's love for King's work is obvious, and The Green Mile sees the director on familiar ground, a prison set drama with spiritual undertones. It's possibly best remembered for the larger-than-life performance from the late Michael Clarke Duncan.
Take my hand, boss.
With the 1983 killer car movie Christine, director John Carpenter once again proved his masterful skill in the horror genre, this time taking the danger from behind the mask and putting it behind the wheel. The adaptation of King's novel The Deadzone gave audiences the perfect pairing of talent and source material, with the casting of Christopher Walken as Psychic Johnny.
The house is burning. Your daughter's in the house.
The kooky icing on the cake was director David Cronenberg, quite possibly the only man alive capable of out-weirding Walken.
The ice is gonna break! Something in the mist! Shut the doors! Shut the doors!
One of the best survival horrors of the last decade, The Mist is a somewhat underrated and underseen film, delivering B-movie thrills and first-rate creature design. Although, spoiler, the ending is a real bummer. Is there a scarier proposition than waking up unable to move and coming face to face with a batshit crazy Kathy Bates?
God, I love you.
Misery features more than its fair share of shocking moments, but perhaps its most gruesome scene could have been far worse had the filmmakers stuck to King's version of events, in which Paul's foot is lobbed off with an axe. So really, the sledgehammer ain't so bad after all. Coming-of-age tales don't get much more coming-of-agey than Stand By Me. Rob Reiner's much-loved film had everything: humour, pathos, and an adorably chubby Jerry O'Connell trying to run. The first Stephen King adaptation is also one of the very best. Sissy Spacek's epically awkward teen is pure casting genius, and the final scene is still one of the most iconic in horror movie history. Although revered by many, Stephen King famously hated Stanley Kubrick's 1980 adaptation of his novel The Shining. Whilst it's far from faithful to the source material, there's no denying that the unsettling score and eye-popping cinematography make this one of the most atmospheric in the King cinematic canon.
Here's Johnny!
Plus, it gave us one of the best Simpsons spoofs ever.
You've got the shinin'.
You mean shining?
Shh! You wanna get sued?
The Shawshank Redemption is not only the best Stephen King movie adaptation, it's the best movie period. IMDb doesn't lie, guys. Not only did the film shorten the title of King's original story, it completely changed the character of Red, who was originally a red-headed Irishman called Mick. The casting switch-up was a stroke of genius, because a life without Morgan Freeman narrating everything is a life not worth living.
Get busy living, or get busy dying. That's goddamn right.
That's it for this week's Top 10. To let us know what Stephen King movies you love, hit us up in the comments below. And for more videos, be sure to subscribe to So Is It Any Good?